Welcome to this edition of the Wonderbury podcast.
I'm Brian.
I'm Dave.
You can find us online at wonderbury.com.
And I am D. Wonderly on Twitter.
But if he's too boring, you can find me anywhere by searching Brian Keysbury.
Lately, I have been quite boring. You can also leave us comments on our website, Reddit, Facebook, anywhere practically at this point.
You noted, I think I pulled up your Twitter or something. I actually got on Twitter the other day. Pulled up your Twitter and was like...
Yeah, I haven't been using it very often.
Why does he
I really need to.
Why does he tell people to look him up on Twitter?
Say what?
I said, why does he even tell people to look him up on Twitter? I had a good chuckle to myself about it.
Yeah, well, because I don't want people looking me up on Facebook.
Yeah. It does. Realistically, I'm pretty boring everywhere. So...
You know, if someone wants to reach out to me on Twitter, I will communicate on Twitter very easily. But I need to start tweeting. I think I'm gonna start tweeting at least daily.
Nah.
I'm gonna try to make an effort, concerted effort to tweet more often. I think that's a really good way of interacting with people. And
I keep telling myself I'm gonna post more Instagram pictures. I'm like, I'm gonna do, and then I just don't. I'm like, all I really have to do is do it.
I am close to boycotting Instagram until they add 360 capability. Also, speaking of 360 capability, my camera is one of the ones for Street View.
Nice.
So Dave is going to, this week probably, most likely, I'm going to Street View the Masonic Temple downtown.
Awesome.
Inside. Did
you get all the rules and everything about it?
I'm looking at it.
Okay. It's I took some tests when I signed up. And it's pretty complicated. But
yeah, it seems like it used to be complicated. They've kind of streamlined some of the stuff out.
Yeah.
So hopefully it won't be too bad. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
We'll still see how it works.
It's still seems like you got to get everything measured out just right.
Yeah, it was talking outdoor 5 meters, indoor 1 meter.
Yeah.
So, we'll figure out how that all works.
Okay.
But I'll get it. It's gonna be quite interesting. I think it'll be good.
Cool. Let me know how it goes. I might have you come up and do my shot.
Yeah, I think that figuring out how to Street View inside of buildings, especially historic or interesting or shops or that kind of stuff, would be a really good idea.
Yeah.
I think that's something that can be done very well. I also want to look into doing it with houses as well. Figure out how to Street View houses outside of Street View, but having it as a secondary link for a 360 tour.
Yeah. I always thought it'd be neat to see a 360-degree video tour. You know, you'd have to, just move pretty slow, I guess. That way people could take time and look around real good.
Well, I'm currently cutting together... Three Rivers Festival was this week.
Yeah.
And a couple weeks ago, it was Busker Fest.
Yeah.
So... I think what I'm going to do is take... what I did do is I mounted my 360 camera on Alice's stroller.
Yeah.
And I walked through the crowds at a pretty nonchalant pace through Busker Fest, and then I did it up and down the Chalk Walk at Three Rivers Fest, as well as straight down through Junk Food Alley.
Nice.
And so I want to cut that together and use my headset and see how it all kind of flows and meshes that way, and see if I need to slow it down a little bit. But what I kind of figured is that they would be at a view of, I don't know, 6 inches shorter than me, but they could look around and see things kind of the same way you would be walking through and looking around as well.
Yeah.
So right behind the camera is me, so you're not going to turn all the way around, but at least you could see to the side and the front, and kind of see the sights and hear the sounds of everything. So we'll see how it all works out.
That's pretty awesome.
I think it'll look really cool when it's done. And YouTube does a pretty good job with 360 video on computers of being able to click and drag your computer stuff around and all that.
Yeah, I was gonna say what they're doing with 360 is incredible. It's
gorgeous.
Enough that I wouldn't care if Instagram got 360 or not, because what YouTube is doing is it's awesome. Yeah, in the desktop interface for it.
Yeah, so I wanted the Instagram for my 360 stills.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to give out my personal Facebook page out to people, but I'd still like to share the 360 stills. And that's kind of been tough to do. So either I will create like a fan page of sorts for my 360 stuff on Facebook and do that until Instagram gets off its butt and decides that 360 pictures might be a good idea, which I seriously doubt. But
yeah,
I mean, they still force you to crop your pictures of 4:3, so like I get why. I understand the thought process behind that, but it's still a little weird.
Yeah. Instagram drives me crazy.
Well, it's what it was, the intent behind Instagram, what it was for. It was for purist photographers, and when you take still pictures and 35mm is still 4:3.
Yeah. Oh.
So it makes perfect sense. And the other thing I want to learn how to do is figure out how to live stream my 360 camera.
That would be interesting. I did see that we have... did you get the email last week from YouTube that we have Wonderbury live streaming capability now?
Yes.
From mobile devices?
Yeah, so I can live stream from my mobile device, which is great.
Yeah.
But I don't think my current 360 camera will let me live stream through mobile device. However, when I was doing the research for 360 cameras and stuff, I came across a 360 camera that plugs into your port, so like your USB port.
Yeah.
And you end up holding your phone upside down, but it's a 360 camera mount that sticks on there, and it does allow for YouTube and I think Twitch live stream.
Nice.
Although I don't know if Twitch does live stream from mobile or not. But it was like 2 or 3 different live streams that it had the capabilities of doing. So I always thought that was really interesting, and I kind of wanted to play with that a little bit. But
what kind of port did it plug into?
You could purchase it. It had several different options. You could do it for Lightning. You could do it for USB-C. You could do it for USB 2.0 or the 2.0, but the micro USB.
Yeah.
So it was different options for different phones.
Nice. Huh.
So I kind of looked at that when I was looking to buy, and then I got sent the one that I have, and so I stopped looking at buying them after that one.
Yeah. Nice.
Eventually, I will get a 4K 360 camera. I think once I kind of figure out what I'm doing and kind of pull in more of a into the 360 niche, because I think that's where I'm going to reside at for a lot of the film stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try to live and focus on 360 and come up with some really cool 360 stuff.
Nice.
My next 360 purchase will be 4K capabilities. HD is fine. 4K is just that much sharper.
Yeah.
And you can always dial back to HD from a 4K video, and it just looks gorgeous.
I've noticed that watching stuff on my TV, because I have a fancy ass 4K TV now, which amazingly, for as crap as Amazon's video app is, it is the only one that has 4K stuff for free. Well, no, YouTube does too, I guess.
Yeah, you can upload 4K on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be a 4K device. It knows what device you're on, and it has to be a 4K device to stream 4K.
Well, I do know that my Pixel is a 4K device.
Yeah.
Huh. So there's at least that. I mean,
yeah.
I think with as much as VR is being pushed, and with Google making VR accessible in non-VR and traditional formats, it's going to be more of what's up and coming. And I think figuring out how to do really cool film stuff, and I call it film, but really cool video stuff in 360 is kind of the path forward in that whole thing. I'm really looking forward to playing with it more. I've been doing a lot more stills, a lot more recordings. A lot of it's just kind of junk garbage that I'm just playing with to figure out my editing techniques and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother ball game in itself. Just the super editing of this stuff, which actually isn't as bad as some people think, because you can just edit it flat and then superimpose in the metadata to make it 360. Although I have discovered that recording it on my 360 cam and putting it on my hard drive, I can upload it to YouTube and Facebook, and both of those automatically add that stuff and convert the file into 360.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it auto-detects that it's 360, and it will just do it.
Well,
Now, what I have not tried to do yet is run it through my editor.
Yeah,
and
your camera
upload it from my editor.
Your camera adds that metadata.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. But there's plenty of reputable places that will add that metadata.
Yeah.
And I think I can write plugins for DaVinci. I have to double check. But if I can write my own plugins, I might just take an open source 360 metadata and convert it to whatever I need to convert it for Resolve, and do it that way so that I can export, have a checkbox that I can just click and it automatically converts it on render.
YouTube has one available. Just search YouTube metadata injector.
All right. I might just do that. I might just render it out and then run it through the injector and then upload it.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. That's what I did with mine. And I was taking photosphere images and then converting them to essentially like still frame videos.
Yeah.
So, which that was worth.
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna start doing a lot more camera technique stuff.
Hey.
With my 360, and I think what I'll probably end up doing is, because Instagram does not have the capability of 360 yet, I think I might just create a Facebook fan page, and if I do that, I'll make sure I post it to the Wonderbury stuff and let everybody know, hey, this is what I'm doing, because there's all sorts of really cool stuff you can do with it. I've also bought a URL for Fort Wayne for my 360 stuff in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
So once I have that up and running and I start populating that, I'll make that announcement too. But yeah, it's there's a lot of really cool stuff that I think we can do with 360 that I'm kind of excited about.
Yeah.
Even if people don't have 360 stuff, you know, if they don't have Google Cardboard or any other type of VR headset, whether it be Gear VR or Daydream or something.
Well, yeah, that's part of why
I-
YouTube is so nice for that stuff, is because their desktop client has controls built in, so you can just click and drag on it, and you can pan
And I
around
think-
in the 360 video.
I think, and I don't know if they've already implemented this or not, but they were talking about implementing for streaming it to televisions, whether it be your Roku, whether it be Fire, whether it be any of the
Shield.
other Shield or any of the other devices out there,
Yeah.
being able to utilize your remote, the arrow keys on your remote,
Yeah, that's a
to
good question.
pan and look around in a 360 video.
I'll,
I don't know if they've implemented it yet or not, but I know that they were talking about doing it.
yeah, I'm going to look into that, because I think my remote, or maybe my controllers, one or the other of them, I believe, has an accelerometer in it, so it should be able to tell my movements, too. Plus, having the thumbstick on the controller would help a lot.
Well, the Daydream has... Hang on a second. Lean forward and grab my Daydream. My Daydream has a controller that has a thumb control.
Yeah.
That kind of... I can either point and do it that way, but I can also utilize it as a scroll and a click. So, you know, that might be something they're looking into eventually, especially for people who are like sitting down, and I haven't played with it for that purpose yet, but I might look into that.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting down somewhere and I'm watching something in 360, can I just use that to look around instead of utilizing my actual accelerometer movements?
That'd be a good test.
So I'm gonna play with that too. That's part of what I'm kind of playing with the whole running the 360 stuff that I'm doing, and figuring out the mediums and all that. I will do more tests on that, and I'll probably end up at some point writing a couple of blog posts about my journey through 360, and I'll make sure I cross post those onto the Wonderbury site as well.
Cool.
So
So,
hey, it's all gonna be fun. It's all gonna be nice.
yeah.
So how was your week?
Not bad. Been fixing car stuff. Watching some Vikings on Amazon on the Shield. It's pretty nice. And
Yeah, how is that show?
it's pretty good. It's really well written. The acting's amazing. When I first started it, I read History Channel. I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be a cool documentary series. Not even thinking in my head, oh wait, it's the History Channel, and they haven't done that in a while. So I was a little disappointed that it wasn't a documentary series. But it's pretty neat. Pretty good and brutal too, which is nice.
Well, it's
Like
the Vikings.
yeah, that's what I was like. Well, I watched the first couple episodes, and I was like, well, they're not showing any nudity, which seems weird because there are a lot of sex scenes. And then there was a battle, and it was brutal. And I was like, oh, well then, blood splatters everywhere. I can't.
Nice.
I'm amazed because I don't think that's maybe that is a 4K show. I don't remember, but it looks phenomenal too, and the detail they put into things is great.
Is your TV 4K?
Yeah.
How is the difference? Did you really tell a difference upgrading from your 1080 to 4K?
Yeah. Yes. I didn't
worth it?
believe I was going to. I had convinced myself I couldn't see, like my eyes couldn't tell a difference.
Yeah.
And then we got it, and I watched Cars. I'm mind blown how much of a difference there was. Now, this was with Cars. Cars is in 1080, but it's a Samsung, and it does upscaling, which I have no idea how it actually does that. Doesn't make sense to me. But
yeah, you'd think if you double the resolution of something, it would make it worse.
yeah.
Although I must say, TVs have gotten pretty good at the upscaling thing because my Super Nintendo upscales quite well.
Yeah. Yeah, I played some of my original Xbox on it, and it looked phenomenal. Yeah. I really noticed a difference watching Cars in Pixar movies. Mind-numbing the amount of details that you can see, that you can see a difference of between 1080 and 4K.
Yeah.
And I would love to see them rendered in 4K and see what that looks like. It's got to be glorious.
I'm trying to think of so Sony are planning the PlayStation 5. They announced that it's in the works.
Yeah.
And they're talking about late next year, early 2019 for a release of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Which will be a 4K console. Because Sony is betting that the market saturation for 4K by the end of next year will be 50% or more.
Oh yeah. I could see that. They're getting cheap. I paid under $400 for
They are getting cheap. They're becoming more rentable. It's hard to find non-4K TVs now.
Yep.
I still don't have a 4K. I've got my 1080p still.
Yeah.
Or my 1080i, 1080. I got my 1080. You know, it's not bad. I don't mind it. It's a Bravia, and Sony does a lot of crazy things for smoothing with
they've got the motion flow
generation engine.
Yeah.
And so you get a much better picture than a lot of full HD TVs.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think I've missed the 4K yet, because it's, you know, it is what it is.
Even between that and actual 4K, there's still a lot of difference. I noticed watching the motion flow, you could see some like digitalization going on 4K watching stuff. It is smooth and it looks real. Especially I've been watching some 4K YouTube in 60 frames per second.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, my TV does handle the 60 frames a second, even at full HD.
Yeah.
And during the hockey season, since my Chromecast has the 60 it's the newer Chromecast.
Yeah.
So it supports the 60 frames a second. I can cast my games from my phone over there because I get the NHL package every year.
Nice.
Watching hockey in 60 frames a second is phenomenal.
I watched
It's a bandwidth hog, but it's phenomenal looking.
Yeah, I watched the Grand Tour.
I love that show.
It was so good. And I started.
Did they come out with a second season yet?
I think it's been announced. I haven't looked into it yet.
I know Hammond got hurt filming it, so I didn't know when they were going to release it.
Yep. Dude, watching that in 4K, amazing. Like, vehicle graphics in 4K, sports graphics in general in 4K at 60 frames a second. out of the ballpark amazing.
I'd like to watch hockey in 4K.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet, so I'm gonna have to do that.
I've done the 60 frames a second with the Bravi engine, but I have not watched it in 4K yet.
But Amazon's...
I take that back. I have watched it in 4K, but it's on a 5.5-inch screen.
Yeah. So Amazon's app is kind of crap.
Yeah? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Amazon's app on Roku is not bad.
Is it?
Nah, it's phenomenal.
Huh. Does it, when you finish watching something, what does it show you as a recommendation to watch next?
If it's a television series, the next episode.
Okay. What about a movie?
I can't recall when the last time I watched a movie on Amazon Prime.
On the Android TV app, if you watch a movie in the Amazon, and you finish, the first thing that's recommended to you after watching that is the movie you just watched. It took me a while, but I figured it out.
God damn it, Amazon.
I figured out what's going on. Is their service is built on streaming TV shows. And that's what they're doing. And it's not set up for movies. Like, there's movies on there. They're available. But it's not set up for that. It wants to recommend you the next episode of the show you're watching. And then I got to looking, and pretty much everything does that. Netflix does a good job of, like, when you finish a series, it bumps it off of that list.
Yeah.
So, like, your watching list, not the recently viewed on Netflix. On there, it kicks it off of that.
It's like suggestions based on your last, like, 20 things that you've watched or whatever, 20 separate things that you watched.
Yeah.
So it only counts an entire show if you've just binged 400 episodes of a show. It counts that as one recently viewed.
Yep. Which I've been noticing a lot more of all the services doing that. I use Voodoo a little bit too. I use YouTube a lot. And Google Play movies. Google Play, it wants to recommend me things I don't own all the time.
Yeah, I've noticed that with Google too. It recommends based not out of your library, but recommends based off of what it has offered.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Because I might be able to find something that I wouldn't otherwise watch.
Yeah. And I understand their situation because it's not...
Well, they want you to buy something.
It's not a subscription service. Yeah, it's based off of purchases. So, they make money when you purchase movies. So that's their...
Right.
Yeah, and it does a really nice job of, oh, you stop this movie here, you stop this TV show here. That's the first thing that comes up before anything else. It's like, hey, you got the show to finish. And that comes up. And then right after that, it's like, but when you're done, why don't you buy these? Like, here's more stuff you might like. It's similar to this.
I can understand that for like Google Play and Voodoo because they're a purchase option.
Well,
I like Voodoo because I can plug in all of my ultraviolet stuff into Voodoo.
Yeah.
And I have a whole bunch of DVDs that I still haven't done that I need to plug into ultraviolet.
Yeah. That's something I wish Google Play had, was that service.
Oh, if Google Play allowed me to plug in my ultraviolet stuff, I would never touch Voodoo again.
Yeah.
I would even purchase the stuff that I've purchased on, because I've purchased some things on Voodoo. The stuff that I've purchased on Voodoo, I would repurchase on Google Play just to unify my services.
Yep. Well, doesn't that stuff sync to ultraviolet as well?
What?
Because I know in Voodoo, I I got a Muppets
In
movie.
Voodoo, I can directly input in my ultraviolet codes. I thought.
Well, it's automatically synced. Like if you're in Voodoo, you can log in with an ultraviolet account.
I don't have an ultraviolet account though. That's the problem.
Ah,
I've just been doing it all from Voodoo.
so it's all in. Yeah, sign in, get an ultraviolet account, and then you can. There's other services that ultraviolet links to as well.
Yay! More accounts, more
Yeah,
services.
more accounts. I keep a handful.
We'll cover that.
I keep a handful of them, just because I subscribe to like different like free deal things. So if if a free movie comes up on a service that I don't use often, I'm like, screw it, might as well get it. If it's something
I think here's what we should do, Brian.
But
next week, let's dive, because we're pretty much out of time now. Let's dive into the world of streaming next week.
Okay.
And we'll kind of kick off more streaming and services and kind of build the Dave and Brian's guide to streaming.
We got a grand tour of streaming.
Speaking of streaming, Stranger Things, October, Season 2. It's been announced of when it's going to start.
Oh. I did see
it's going to come in for looks like around a Halloween release.
Nice. Maybe I'll come visit. Or have you come visit one way or the other, and we'll binge it.
We'll binge Stranger Things Season 2. That'd be awesome. But till next week, guys.
Yeah, I'll try to stream as much as I can. But I did not pay for the Comcast Blast shipping, so...
You have fun with your 3 megabyte internet connection.
Yeah. Yep.
Or 3 megabit.
I'd rather have WiMAX at this point.
Yeah, right?
At least that was dependable.
Your uptime is good until it storms.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, we'll see you guys all next week.